And I'm back with more Persona 5 Royal. Having to restart my computer before recording always sucks. But there we go. And, like I said before, with my green screen, it's not perfect. You might still see some pixelating, like, right in the corner. But instead of it being, like, right all the way around here, now most of my body's covered. So it's not going to be as noticeable. But it's also, I was able to get rid of some of it. Anyway, that was the thing yesterday, or on Friday's recordings I did. I'm recording this on a Sunday. But hopefully it's not as much a bother. It sure was when I went back and compared it to just a couple of videos that I just uploaded. Because I'm 2 weeks, or I'm always 3 weeks ahead of my recording schedule. If anybody's asking. If anybody ever wonders how I upload, I give myself 3 weeks of a buffer, usually. That's to have way more than necessary. Same thing with podcasts. I have like 2 extra videos in the can just in case I go on vacation or I get sick or something. It's a bit much, but hey, it works and it allows me to like remember as I'm going along. Speaking of remembering, this is going to be a pain in my ass because this section is... There's 2 memorable sections in this entire dungeon. And this is one of them. This is known as the exam room. You are the Phantom Thieves, I presume. Normally, I capture any intruders, but this area is free to any who want to enter. I will grant you entrance to the exam room should you desire. Allowing intruders to proceed. How odd. They must be awfully confident in this exam technique. At any rate, such progress should be in our favor. We should make sure to get our affairs in order and act straight for this. So what'll it be? Depending on your answer, we will respond accordingly. I see. So you're curious about our facilities. Very well. This is the lobby for the psychological exam room, where we determine if patients are mentally sound or not. We find flaws and potential issues in a person's heart that they may or may not be aware of.
Well?
And that surprises... And what exactly comprises these examinations? Beyond this door is a special exam room. There, you will find 3 simple questions. Touch the information panel to begin the process. Listen to each question and choose the elevator that corresponds with your answer. Please refrain from entering the precise level or the previous level until the exam is over. Treatment will be recommended depending on the patient's diagnosis. But this treatment, just like any other part in the process, has been designed with the patient in mind. Do not worry. If no abnormalities are found after the examination, you will be presented a small gift. For the sake of your own happiness, we ask that you answer all questions with honesty. So we have to choose the answer we believe is correct? Although it's a bit far-fetched and a bit hesitant to find out this treatment. Examine a person's heart, find their pain and regret that distort their cognition. This is just a palace version of what Maruki does in real life.
Wait!
Ooh, so if we make a mistake, it'll change our cognition? That's probably confined to the real world, though. You probably won't mess with people's hearts this way. But maybe you'll just go, bleh! Hey, don't scare me like that. Well, whatever this treatment is, it's part of the procedure. So, like I said before, this is a sort of examination. You're going to be presented with some moral quandaries, and the game wants you to answer with honesty, but in reality, what it wants you to do is answer the way Maruki would. So hopefully, having read up on this before I did this recording, I get these answers correct. If I don't, I'm presented with a fight. Great news. You do have to go over each situation, but I should know the answers as I go along, because considering it's a lot of reading, that's what this is for. Yay! I didn't set up all my camera shit for nothing, though. We'll get to that when I don't have to worry about it. But anyway. That receptionist told us to start with the information panel. Oh. Hello, patients. Here is your first question. One day at school, you see that a good friend is being led away by a group of scary people. You want to help your friend, but if you fight them alone and lose, you could easily get hurt. If you go look for a teacher, there would be no danger to you. But if you don't succeed in time, your friend will most likely get hurt. What would you do in this situation? A, go after your friend, or B, go get help. Once you've made your decision, please take the corresponding elevator. Thank you.
Huh?
Neither answer is wrong, though. Yeah, but this is a medical exam, not a school one. They're trying to figure out whether or not you need treatment. So maybe go with the answer you think Dr. Maruki would pick. So we have to figure out which one he would pick. No. Well, it's hard to be sure of whatever's right now. Why don't we try asking some of these questions, asking some of these patients? They might be only cognitive beings, but they still have to take the exam just like we do. Maybe we can figure out what's right.
Right.
I'm with Mona. Besides, if you try and fail, at least you gave it a shot. Although, I'm not opposed to just plowing your way through here. But if you refuse the treatment regimen, they're not going to take that lying down. TLDR, be ready for a fight when it comes to it.
Okay.
Alright, let's try asking this guy. You guys are dressed awfully fancy. Doesn't look like you're here for an exam. Definitely A. If someone needs my help, I'm doing what needs to be done. Is there a reason you didn't even hesitate? My reason? Well, normally I wouldn't share this with someone I met, but I was in this exact situation in the past. The difference is, that time I just acted like I didn't know anything and went on my way. I let my fear control me. I've regretted it ever since. So I've decided from now on, I'll help people in need no matter what happens to me. Yeah, stuff like that can make you feel horrible. Even if it ends up hurting, it's still better than going whatever choice you didn't make.
On board.
A seems the right answer to me. That's the reasoning for my answer. I'm gonna go on ahead. See ya. So this episode might take some time, but for a good reason.
Hey.
Oh! I'm gonna help you. Oh, I choose B. This is sort of embarrassing, but I've never been on the helping side. Someone always has to help me. I just don't have the courage to confront somebody. So you ask others for help? I mean, that ain't wrong, but don't you ever think to myself, I want to help them? Well, of course I do, but even if I had the courage, I might actually not be able to help. If that's the case, it's probably best to go get help from someone else. That way success is more likely. So, in your consideration for others, that made you choose B. Well, thank you for your time. You're very welcome. Well, if you excuse me.
Well,
Well, now we know both sides of the story. But neither one's exactly wrong, right? I know where they're both coming from. Which one matters is what Dr. Maruki thinks is wrong. Why don't we collect our thoughts somewhere and find our answer?
Hey!
How about that empty room? So yes, you do have to actually discuss this crap. But it is a good concept, if nothing else. I like the fact that they do this kind of stuff.
well then.
Alright. So after some investigating, they use this place to test patients' mental states with a questionnaire. If they find any abnormalities, they'll force treatment right away. No matter what it is, I suspect we can't avoid it. So if Dr. Maruki thinks we're fine as is, we get to skip the treatment? Most likely. It may not be easy, but we have to try and think whatever Dr. Maruki thinks whenever coming up with these responses. Sorry, but I ain't good with this kind of stuff.
Well then.
Well, let's think of how we handle this question. Alright, which story do you want to discuss?
Now then.
Well, he's the one who went for A. Go after your friend. He said he'd help any person he might see in trouble. He said he turned a blind eye to a same situation in the past. His regret is the main reason he would intervene in the future.
Indeed.
So standing up to evil to help your friend certainly seems like the right thing to do. That would be correct if this was based on morals. But this is rather based on Dr. Maruki's viewpoint. You may find his stance admirable, but would Dr. Maruki feel the same?
Well,
The risk factor is what bothers me about his desire and choice. You would likely be hurt if you ended up failing. We have to consider Dr. Maruki's thoughts on that. Yeah, he wants everyone to find happiness, so... I guess that's about that for that one.
what are your thoughts? Now then.
He's the one who said go get help. He said there was a chance he wouldn't be able to help his friend alone, so he wanted a way to increase the odds. Well, I get what he's saying, but it still bugs me. It's like he's running away.
But
Yes, but it's not his sole priority was avoiding getting hurt. I wonder what Dr. Maruki would think about that. Remember what Dr. Maruki said last day of school? He said it's okay to escape your problem if it becomes too painful. Do you think he'd consider that the same thing? I guess that's about it for this one.
what are your thoughts? What's up? Yep.
Well, let's come up with an answer. It really comes down to how Dr. Maruki would think about it. Risking yourself to help a friend, or take the time to find a dependable help. Determining which choice is incorrect is quite difficult.
Oh.
And neither choice guarantees your friend's safety if you think about it. Neither option seems any more successful than the other when it comes to helping your friend. What do you mean?
Do you have a moment?
Your friend may end up hurt no matter what answer you choose. So that isn't the deciding factor here. The issue is whether you end up getting hurt. That's what we base our decision on. You totally got this. Ryuji, what are you doing here?
What's up? Right.
Okay. The answer's B. So, the reason the answer's B from Maruki's perspective is simple. Maruki's whole idea is trauma can be overwritten, or trauma should be avoided at all costs. And regardless of what happens to other people, whether you have good intentions or not, or selfless decisions, you yourself can decide to escape the pain and avoid the potential trauma to yourself. And again, that's not a selfish problem. It's the fact that there's the potential either way that you get hurt. So in Maruki's situation, in terms of finding treatment, the answer for you would be trying to avoid pain. As far as treating yourself, you would think, okay, it's noble, but you're going to get hurt either way. And remember what Maruki's whole situation is. His whole entire fixation is he rewrote the cognition of Rumi, something he had no control over. But rewriting cognition makes it as if it never happened. He's opened up a branch path in a timeline and said, what if this never happened? You're escaping from whatever trauma you could experience either way. So that's where he comes from. That's why B is the right answer.
What do you want to do?
And if you choose the wrong one, according to him, then you fight somebody. And then you're in trouble. No abnormalities detected in query responses. Please proceed to the next room. Oh, you too? They're calling this an exam, but all we're doing is walking along our own path. Well, no bad news so far. Well, it's better to just run away from try to help? I don't buy that. Maybe it means what Maruki believes is best is to find a way to avoid getting hurt. Nice running into you. Actually, you can have this. You're passing these out, so I've got all I need.
Yes.
Raises attack for one ally. That's neat. Second question has 3 possible answers, though.
Alright then.
Well, let's find out what we're dealing with. And of course, there should be a consultation rooms on the other side. But as you can see, revealed on the other side was an enemy. Alright, we got 3 possible choices. So, like I said, we'll probably take a couple episodes to get through this whole bit, because there's a lot to discuss. But now you kind of know what you're in for with this sort of thing. You either go and walk through and you collect an item, or you have to get in a fight. But either way, you're starting to understand that Maruki isn't trying to do it from a bad perspective or an angry perspective. He's not doing this out of malice or desires or anything. I mean, his desire to help people is genuine. And again, this is where that situation with, like, Breath of Fire 3, where, like, Miria, where everybody's saying, she's a villain. No, she's not. She's misguided, at best. There's nothing wrong with a good intention, provided you're not stomping on everybody else's free will. I think that's kind of where this divide, say in Breath of Fire 3, the divide was, we were against having our hand held in this world, despite the fact that Miria was trying to stop the world from being thrown into a fucking desert. Which makes sense, because if your life is tantamount to survival in a harsh fucking desert, you'd wish somebody would come along and say, nope, we can stop you from that. But I make the rules, and this is what I believe is right. And yes, it caused genocide in a way out of fear, and that's where the contention lies. So there's two reasons why Miria's in the wrong, but she's not malevolent. Maruki's in the same vein. He's not malevolent. He's giving you an option to escape pain, and whether you believe that's right or wrong, it's a really sticky situation. He's not trying to stamp out any, like, free will. He wants you to realize that he's giving you a choice. At least in most cases. It's still free will versus subjugation, but it's not done in a malicious way. He's very justified. Now, does that mean that he will get loopy and crazy and get a god complex? And it's possible. They always do say the best intentions lead the road to hell or something, or good intentions pave the road to hell, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's what I like about this ending, is it's not against a guy who's a complete nutball and a complete... He is absolutely wrong, and there's no reason to think he's right in any form or facet. Because the God of Control's version of subjugation is you don't exist. Maruki's version of subjugation is everybody's going to be happy, and I will do my best to make sure that you have a positive, free-wheeling life, and anything that did happen to you, I can erase it. That's crazy power that he's using for the good. I mean, imagine not having any pain or any suffering at all. That might seem strange, but not suffering any hardship, that's not a terrible deal. That's like the blue pill in the Matrix. It's like ignorance is bliss sometimes. Sometimes hardship can be a good thing, sometimes you just don't want to deal with it. In Maruki's case, he's dealt with so much of it, he's found a way to get around it. That's really strong of a motivation, and that's why I like this so much. But we'll get back to the exam next time.